Hey, it's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Lots of shit going on in professional wrestling this week. We cannot wait to talk about it. The CM Punk saga in AEW, full of backstage drama, just continues. The shit just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and we just have to keep on talking about it because, for whatever reason, that's all anybody gives a fuck about anymore. JR getting out here, getting a little tweety on the old tweeter machine. We're gonna talk about him. And is the Bloodline falling apart, Tom? I don't know.
Are they not feeling too oozy?
I guess we'll just have to find out.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dudes?
What's up, fellas?
Nada.
Wow. Derek, you sound great, bud.
Sure does.
Thank you.
I've
been working on my voice lately.
It's almost like
the projection.
It's almost like he's got a microphone that works or something. I don't know.
No. That would imply I spent money.
Bro, that shit last week was a train wreck, pal. You should be embarrassed.
It was, yeah. Well, you know what? Yeti.
I mean, he was.
That was pitiful. I was
Yeti.
very upset.
Yeah, how did your Yeti fail so hard? Like that was, and then you bought just to correct, you bought another Logitech Yeti, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we've went ahead and moved ahead in generations and went ahead and picked up the Yeti X. So
I'm just saying it's
now.
Brand loyalty
Derek
here
is not sponsored by
I would have
friend of the show, Logitech.
The moment somebody's product fails me spectacularly in the way that yours did, I would have sold them up the river.
Are we gonna go here? Is this gonna be a thing? Are we gonna start here already?
Anyway, so let's talk about wrestling.
So I don't know what the hell's going on with my microphone over here.
Oh wow, man! Obviously, you don't have a Logitech.
It's
no,
you gotta twist the little.
I gotta go fix the little thing.
You gotta twist the hoopy dibber.
You two just banter there for a hot minute.
All right, so what do you want to bitch about, Tom?
What about how I would send things that failed me up the river?
Yeah, there's no way that was happening.
Like Larry the dog.
This is if. Like I said in the chat, honestly, and I do believe this 100%. If Larry doesn't come out in a neck brace, I'm not convinced. Fuck this angle. This doesn't work for me. No.
This does not work for me. It doesn't work for me either. I thought that was a balloon on Walt's screen going. Shows you how many creepy. Shows you how many. It was his microphone. It shows you how many creepy clown things I've seen.
Yeah.
Thanks to. Shout out to Halloween tomorrow, which is why we're a day early today, because tomorrow's the big ween.
That's
Derek,
true.
You doing anything fun for the big ween?
Yeah, we're gonna go out on the big ween. I'm gonna be a big dinosaur, and I think my daughter's gonna be a princess, and go from there.
So, is she gonna wait? Could you be Yoshi? And she could, or you just have the dinosaur. You're blown up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just blown up. I'm not green.
That's kind of
cool.
Fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
She could have been Yoshi. She could have been Princess Toadstool, and you could have been Yoshi. It would have been.
I should have went to Joanne Fabrics. They're going out of business. I could have got all the fabrics.
Joanne Fabrics is going out of business. Oh
Yeah.
my God, Joanne Fabric after like 1,000 years. What did Joanne die? Joanne must have died.
I think that's what it was.
That's what
She's
happened.
done.
Joanne died, and the business just took a
fucking
dive. It took a dive for the worst.
I don't even want to fucking know what is happening right now.
R.I.P. Joanne of Joanne's Fabrics fame. We killed her.
I don't even want to know what the hell's going on.
While you were adjusting your microphone tension, we killed Joanne Fabric.
Well, at least I muted.
It's lucky that Marshall's is still alive because Marshall's next.
No, Marshall is.
We're coming for his ass.
Marshall can't go anywhere. I will be naked If Marshall's
fuck
goes
him,
away.
I'm a TJ Maxx kind of guy. I like me some
It's
TJ Maxx.
the same thing.
Exactly, but it's different.
It's not. It's actually not different because it's owned by the same company. If you get
would you say that TJ Maxx is Marshalls-esque?
I feel like it's literally the Target of Marshalls. Like it's
owned by the same company.
So then it's
like Target, Walmart.
Then it's Marshalls TJ Maxx-esque.
Yeah.
I don't see.
You're just shopping in the.
It was daring.
Listen, check me out here.
I don't understand.
All right, let's talk about wrestling before
we talk about wrestling. So I was trying to transition you guys, but neither one of you picked up on it. So JR was in the news this week. My video is just playing here, like it doesn't have a care in the world. Yeah. So JR hitting the old tweeter machine. Let's take a listen here. JR compared Jon Moxley to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the internet wrestling community lost their ever-loving fucking minds. And JR had this to say on his little podcast thingy thing.
This moment or tonight or during this offensive onslaught or something like that. But man, I caught so much shit from fans, and they want to make sure you see it.
Right.
So they tag you in so they think you might react to them, which I'm not. But it's funny. I thought that was a compliment to Moxley, and it's a compliment that I meant.
Absolutely.
So his game does remind me of Austin's at certain times. Am I saying he's going to be better than Austin or greater than? I don't know that anybody will ever be greater than Stone Cold when he was at his peak and it was over. He's still my favorite guy, great friend. But I just thought there are pieces of Moxley's game basically surrounding his aggression.
Right.
And his tenacity that reminded me of Steve at times. That's all I said.
Right.
And then you catch shit for it because somebody didn't agree with you, or they're thinking you're putting Austin down.
No.
People don't understand that you can compliment somebody. It doesn't mean that you're knocking somebody else based on that compliment.
Tenacity. The tenacity.
So what do we think about good old JR?
It sounds to me like a fellow that's walking back his own comments because he's realized that he's stepped over his own boundaries. Probably shouldn't have said that because, no one's ever going to touch Austin. And I like how we touched on that, but no, especially Moxley. Moxley's one half of Austin. If you had Moxley and MJF together, you're getting close. You're still not Austin.
Wow, I'm really surprised you're sitting here putting over Stone Cold like that, bro.
That's who brought me to the table.
I mean, I get all that, but it's just.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Man, I thought Derek was going to go somewhere else with this, and I had a rebuttal. So now I just have to ignore what Derek said entirely, and not like and make up a comment that doesn't apply to what he said. I can see why JR would say that, particularly the way Moxley walks around, because Stone Cold does a very Stone Cold used to walk and
that's the BMF,
the BMF walk. Yeah, and Mox does his own thing, but it's the same kind of deal. And as far as I don't know, Stone Cold was so crisp. If you could think about Stone Cold jumping and hitting that ground and pound, where he was just Mox is very sloppy. Mox is like a sloppy Stone Cold. In a way, if we're talking about aggression wise, like where Stone Cold was snap, he was the rattlesnake, right? Because the rattlesnake would snap, and that was it. It was precise, it was precision. His strikes were clean. I mean, I don't know, like JR said, anybody could touch Austin at his prime, especially just with the amount of snap that everything he did had. I mean, to this day, nobody can give a stunner as well as he can. He's 50-something years, or what is he? 50? Yeah, he's 50-something years old now. His stunners look better than Kevin Owens, better than anybody in AEW who tries to pull him off. I mean, it's just nobody can touch him. It's just so boom, boom, But it's like he had a rhythm. Stone Cold had a rhythm that you could jive with, and just nobody's been there since then. So I do think that JR got shit for that because Mox is just sort of a sloppy copycat in a little bit of a ways. I hate to call it that because it's like he's definitely got his own thing, but it's like he certainly tries to embody some of that like Steve Austin aggression that was over, but he's not that guy, and I don't think he's trying to be that guy either. It's a nice compliment for JR to try and pay, especially after Mox absolutely saved AEW's ass this summer. Like literally like went out of his way to save their ass.
Yeah, and he made sure he let everybody know. But I didn't get like as all up in arms about this as everybody else did, right?
I'm not up in arms about it. And that's,
as a matter of
like,
fact,
to be fair,
I kind of came to JR's aid here a little bit on the old Facebook, on the original post that I saw this on, and I mean, he absolutely meant this as a compliment. Everybody's trying to make this look like it was a comparison, like he was comparing the two of them to one another, and that's not what I got out of this at all.
No, definitely no negative connotations coming from JR.
What I got was just an absolute compliment. That's like, hey, this guy's doing his thing just like Austin used to do, and you've got this and you've got that, and the way that I looked at it, from the standpoint of you hear all of the stuff about how passionate Moxley is about the business and wanting things to be this and be that. Stone Cold was that way. It's well documented that he was that way, right? So I think for people to try to connect the dots and make this level of comparison is unfair. It's almost like trying to compare Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You can't.
But people love to argue about it on the internet.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what they're trying. I just think there's a point to where the internet's just trying to be argumentative online because there are people that just have fun doing, and it's like a game to them and it's fun to them. And I can't fault them for that. I've been that guy before. The internet was more in its infancy at the time. It was less regulated the way that it is now. But I've been that guy before. I'm not that guy anymore, but I'm almost 40 years old. So, that kind of stuff. I've been full of piss and vinegar in my 20s, but I just, at some point you get blunted by life and your shoulder hurts. So,
because you're old, pal. We already had that discussion.
Yeah, we did. It's because I'm old.
You work with children.
I'm fucking old. I'm hurt. I'm old. I'm hurt. And I work with fucking children.
So, since we brought it up, a lot of fucking bullshit going on in AEW still today, right?
Oh, jeez, it ramped up this week.
How far removed from?
I feel like it was the clearing part, though. The clearing of everything.
I mean,
Derek, how long ago was All Out, Derek?
3 months? Because
September. It was like September 8th, wasn't it? So it's like 2
so
and some. It's like almost 2.
Yeah, we're getting into full gear cell season. So 2 to 3, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And we still don't have a resolution to any of this, right? Now we've got vignettes for the Bucks. Like, are they coming back? Like, what
have they been erased from the company? Were they
like,
I mean, so I didn't hate. I watched. I told you guys I'm not watching AEW. I don't watch it live. I've seen clips and bits, and I saw that clip of it. I saw the MJF promo. That was all I needed to see, really. And so I saw those two things. And as far as that clip of the Bucks, they're definitely coming back. The Elite's coming back. I mean, there was never
a doubt in my mind they were coming.
No, there was never a doubt.
What was the timeline?
I can't imagine they won't be back on. We'll see more either on Wednesday or they'll probably be back.
They'll be at Full Gear. No, they'll come back Full Gear.
That makes sense for them to make their return. For there to be little. I mean, I'm sure they're backstage. I'm sure they're back on tour. But they're and we'll hear all about that because AEW can't keep anything under the lid. And we'll see them at Full Gear after
they've managed to keep their punishments under the lid here. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm curious where you want to go first.
Hey,
so,
Larry the dog bit a guy.
did Larry the dog bite a guy?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's a fucking fisherman's tale, bro.
Larry the dog is ugly anyway. And
from what I understand, Larry the dog's dad ripped the door open in a fit of rage, smacked Larry the dog in the jaw, and that's how he has a massive underbite now.
So
now CM Punk's trying to get some dental insurance apparently done on his dog. I don't know what's going on with that, and you know, it's just become a big HR issue.
So is that the story on the other side? Because I've only read the one that CM Punk said that the Bucks kicked his door in and hit Larry the dog in the face and knocked a couple of teeth out. Is that the story from the other side?
First of all, okay, so this is how ridiculous the kicking the door in. Have you ever you know what doors look like in arenas? They are yes. They open out. So you open doors like this. If it's a dressing room, you don't kick it in, it opens. Well, no, maybe dressing room.
That's not true, Tom. And goddamn, do you not know what a super kick looks like?
So anyway,
but I don't know how many times
they are doors.
Why are we even going over this?
They are metal doors with metal frames, and those metal. This was the one room that had like a rickety wooden door that was installed some point back in the 70s.
Super kick party.
And they were like, this one, okay, CM Punk's locker room has a hollow.
Put him in the rickety door.
Yes, he's got this rickety hollow door.
It just shows its age just like Master Punk does.
Yes. So let's kick it inward. There's no way. There is 0% chance that anybody kicked in a metal door on a metal frame. That's how these doors are in arenas. 100% of them. Believe me, every arena I've ever been in, I've tried to sneak around and find where they're all big metal lock doors that I can't get in. I've never once found a rickety door that, you know, a couple guys the stature of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega could super kick in, regardless of the super kick party. It's just not the case. It's so kicking the door in.
Super kick it. Maybe
I'm just saying.
Hit him with the BTE trigger.
I'm just saying, regardless of what finishing move they put on the door, it was metal and it didn't care. Okay, I don't care if they threw a Hadouken fireball. I don't care if they're Street Fighter characters. I don't care if they're Mortal Kombat. Get over here! And they pulled it open with Scorpion Spear. None of that happened. Okay, none of that happened. And we didn't hear about Larry the dog getting hurt at all until everything that CM Punk's side was trying to say just fell through, because it was clear, like, they went back and looked at the door, and they approached the door with the lawyer. The lawyer was there. So, sure, you know, regardless of how shitty the Elite are backstage, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. I'm not allegedly. I'm not saying they are.
Starting pointing fingers at.
I'm not pointing.
The greatest tag team in AEW history.
So what might have happened was. Is that what we're saying? What might have happened?
I'm just saying they didn't show up to that door with the lawyer. Did they beat on it and go boom, 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 boom? Hey, we need to talk. Boom, 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 boom. Did that happen? I'm probably. I mean, I can't imagine that not happening that way. But
April, go and fetch the door, please.
Get me my smoking jacket, please.
It doesn't smell like smoke because I don't have any fun in life.
But I'm here. These gentlemen smell like smoke and buttholes. Fetch me my smoking jacket.
They're the only other straight edge bastards in the whole company, and they hate each other.
Darby Allin's straight edge too, pal.
Yeah, Darby
that's
is too.
True. That's true. Okay.
I didn't want to get the stink of this Elite on me. Fetch me my unelite jacket.
How dareth thee accuse Sir C of M Punk to such atrocities against the company of Elite All Wrestling,
of which I just buried deep in the ground.
Get it, Derek? Because he's old, behind a rickety door. The door is also old. He works with children. Are you following?
Oh, I'm following very, very.
So anyway,
I'm with you.
So what seems to have had happened was the Bucks, rightfully pissed off about being buried in the scrum, showed up with Kenny, and Hangman had already confirmed Hangman had already left. So he could not show up and be angry because he left already. So the Bucks and Kenny show up, beat on the door, say, "Hey, you told us to come talk to you. Get out." It probably called him, all kinds of. They were probably pissed. Okay, but
April,
they showed up.
Did they call me a douchebag?
Yeah, they probably said, "Open the door, douchebag." Anyway, so Punk comes out ready to fight. Maybe he pulls the door. Maybe he bashes, like Derek said. Maybe he hit Larry the Dog in the face on his own. However, Larry the Dog was already ugly. Maybe he's just looking to get Larry's face put back together because Larry was bad.
Look at him. Look at what they did to my baby. Look at his face. They smashed it with the door. Look. Hey. Punk. Hey, he already looked that way.
That's what it looked like.
Dare you, Tony?
So he, so it seems like, Punk was trying everything in the book to sort of place blame on the Elite, and it was him. It was his fault. Everything was his fault. He was the catalyst. He was the aggressor, and were the Elite mad because of what he said? Yeah, they were mad, and they came to confront him. They came to, I assume, have a screaming match. I can't imagine Matt and Nick Jackson wanting to throw punches backstage with anybody, let alone, the guy that
prayed about it beforehand. And as there's,
yeah, who is this guy? This guy gets a new microphone, and all of a sudden, this fucking guy. What is going on here? Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
This guy. Punk showed up, started throwing punches, started pushing, started being aggressive. Clearly, the fight broke out. Ace Steel threw a chair at somebody's head, bit Kenny Omega. I mean, it was just all hell broke loose. And then they went and did the whole thing. And they were like, "Oh, well, it was all CM Punk's fault." And that's where Tony's siding with. But clearly, Tony wasn't there. Because somebody told Tony Tony wasn't there because he was out in the media scrum, and somebody came out and was like, and
it was like George George Bush whenever the tires went down.
That's exactly what it was.
Hold on, I want to finish this book real quick. I'll be right out.
That's exactly what it was. It was a book about it. That's exactly what it was. And he went back and talked to the lawyer. Apparently, once commotion started to break out, spill into the hallway there, a ton of people came out to see what was going on. So there were a ton of witnesses, and it's sloppy, is what it is. And
listen, I hate to interrupt, but
that was it. I'm done. That was my
need to bring this.
That was my crescendo
because you talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We were joking about it, and you had made the comment that CM Punk's got to have it in his contract somewhere that it's okay for him to punch a motherfucker in the face.
Probably.
And then I think,
or it's not. It's at least not in the contract that it's not okay for him to punch a motherfucker in the face.
And then the report comes out about the Larry the Dog thing, and that CM Punk was within his legal right within the state of Illinois to act the way that he did accordingly due to some sort of self-defense law that is specific to the state of Illinois, and he was justified to punch a motherfucker in the face.
Because of Larry the Dog being there. Also, why was the dog there? I mean, the dog had escaped earlier in the night, if anybody remembers.
I do remember that.
It was a story going into, and there's video.
Well, they talked about it at the post-event press conference too.
Yeah, because there's video of Larry running down
full of Mindy's cake.
Yeah. The dog escaped, and so I don't know why.
Even Larry was trying to get the fuck out of there.
I don't know why Larry was there in the arena. Larry didn't want to be there. Why does All Elite continue? Because Cody brought his dog and then scared him with fireworks 2 years ago.
It's a bad idea, fellas.
Stop bringing your dog to wrestling shows. Nobody's dog needs to be at a wrestling show. Can we
No.
That needs to be a t-shirt. Nobody's dog should be at a wrestling show. That needs to be. Even the junkyard dog did not have a dog at a wrestling show.
Can we make a shirt that says, "Hey, CM Punk, keep your bitch at home"? Would that be too much? Is that over the line?
I think it's over the line. I also don't like that word, so maybe not us. It's not my word.
Oh, sorry, sir. I
okay.
do love AJ.
Okay.
I'm not, you know.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying it's not.
It's in reference to the dog. It is
you, buddy. I'm not offended. I'm just saying.
Are you sure? Do you understand where I was coming from?
Yeah,
I got the same page.
I got
this new microphone. I don't know how it sounds on your end.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. We'll put it that way.
Who is this fucking guy?
I don't know. You've got new mic. New mic. Who dis?
New old Big Mike energy over here. You know what I mean? Like,
new mic. Who dis?
This guy. Jesus Christ!
Got all these good takes this week. Where'd all these come from?
He's combative as fuck.
I gotta save up for 2 weeks and then I come back.
He's got a bunch of good takes. Where'd you find these good takes? Were they in the box with that microphone? Or
they came from Best Buy.
Just keep.
It was
keep
on
it up.
sale.
No, this is that. As much as that maybe sounds like I'm picking on you, that's a compliment, buddy. Let's keep it up. Keep it up. Let's roll along.
Yeah, you're making Tom's job easy. He doesn't have to argue with you.
For real.
So
I mean, go ahead. Well, yes. Move on.
Okay. So listen. So like, we continue to hear all this stuff, right? And Derek, you shared with us this week, and I had read this already about the Eddie Kingston promo early on in the CM Punk return. Whenever Eddie Kingston had said, "Hey, nobody fucking wants you here," like, and while everybody's like trying to act like that was kayfabe, like that's just Eddie Kingston fucking speaking the truth, right?
Yeah.
And I 100% agree. And how many people at this point have Eddie Kingston said that he straight up just fucking hates, for lack of a better word, legitimately hates, and will not be friends with? Of course, we saw Claudio, which he seems to have come around to, but there's also Daniel Bryan. You've got Jericho, who he hates. Like, I mean, this is legit hate.
He's
not storyline hate.
The big takeaway from all of this Eddie Kingston dislike for people is the fact that he's still able to go out there and do business, man. He's still able to put matches in the ring with people that he dislikes because he understands that that's the business aspect of it. What a fucking pro. Like, 2 years ago, this guy made the fucking SI top 25 or top 10, whatever it was. And I remember Tom shit all over it. Derek was like, he's not there yet. And I was like, hey, like, I've really enjoyed what we've seen. As a matter of fact, there's a video if you want to go check that out from that year. Anywho, and I had said that I'd really enjoyed what I've seen from him thus far and was looking forward to what we were going to see from him in the future. And I think that he brings a level of realism to his promos and to his builds and stuff like that. Is his in-ring the greatest? Absolutely not. But you know what? I think you need guys like that are able to help tell stories, especially in a world where there's no booking and there's no direction. I think somebody like that is able to anchor some things and make some of those mid-card things mean that much more just because he has a microphone in his hand.
Somebody's got to be able to make
hold
sense.
on, Tom, real quick. Let me jump here, Tom, and then I'm going to let you have it, and then I'm done.
All right.
So I like where you're going with this, Walt. I like Eddie Kingston. I do. I like him as a character. I like his opinions on things. But in this whole situation, I sincerely believe that Eddie Kingston was at the right place at the right time to hate on a motherfucker, and then it all of a sudden turned. Eddie Kingston has a wide net of hate that he puts out against the wrestling community, and he just so happened to get lucky on this one. And that's great for him. I love Eddie Kingston. I don't have any problem with it, but I don't think it was any sort of philosophical Notre Dame type shit going on here.
Philosophical is what you're looking for.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Phil being the key word. Thank you, Mr. Phil Brooks. Phil being the key word. So, Eddie Kingston. God, somebody's got to make this shit make sense, right? At least maybe Eddie can. He seems to be able to tell a story just with a microphone in a 30-second slot. So good for him. Somebody has to be able to do it. It seems like Eddie Kingston can do it because it's certainly not the booking that's going to do it. Now, back to that promo. Derek, I kind of disagree. I think that I agree that Eddie doesn't like a lot of people, but I think that Eddie particularly was reading the room of nobody wants you here. To Phil Brooks, to CM Punk, particularly. And I think that was truly the case. I think, it was still early when CM Punk was early on when CM Punk was there. But I think that, and Jericho's told a story about this actually before, where Phil was, well, guys, I'm the locker room leader. Please pick up after your shit. Please pick up your water bottles, yada, yada, yada. And Jericho and Christian, because this was like on their pod where they were talking to each other. And Jericho and Christian looked at it like, I'm fucking listening to you. Like, get out of here. Like, fuck off. And at that point in time, like, this was a while back on a podcast. And they then sort of discussed after the fact, like, who would we have listened to in the locker room? And they both went, Glenn. We'd have listened to Glenn. Kane. We'd have listened to Kane. Why? Because he stood a foot over all of us. What were we going to do? No? Tell him no? And then have him, like, put our face in it like we were bad dogs? So I think that there's always sort of, but that's not how Glenn was in the locker room. He'd, like, want to go take a nap. Like he and Mark Henry like naps, yes, apparently. But that for that to be, the way it just always seems like, Phil Brooks has sort of rubbed people the wrong way in the locker room. That's sort of been the story of his career. Now, does that make him not a star? No. But does that make him a locker room leader? Absolutely not. And if you think about how people talk and have always talked, not just within this recent run, have always talked about CM Punk and his backstage demeanor, how he was perceived by the boys, and yada yada. It's always sort of been the best compliment anybody gives him. Well, I didn't have a problem with him. It's like that's the thing. Whereas if you remember when Roman Reigns got leukemia and it came back. And you remember people talking about Roman Reigns. Oh, my God, he is the locker room leader. Oh, my God. Like, there are people bawling their eyes out, hugging the man. There's video bawling their eyes out, hugging the man. You're going to beat this. You're going to beat this. I love you so much. Just hugging the shit out of this guy. And there's nothing like that for CM Punk. In fact, for the longest time, for the last decade, if you ask anybody, most of the people who shared the locker room when he was a top guy about it, except John Cena didn't have anything to say about him at all, which may be the most damning thing for CM Punk, because John Cena puts everybody over, and John Cena has nothing to say about CM Punk at all, nothing.
Well, you know who had something to fucking say about CM Punk this week?
Go ahead, because I'm running out of.
Chris Jericho fucking, so allegedly, you know how, like, I watched the entire post-match thing for All Out, the presser, right? Yeah. And, like, when Jericho came in, it was really disconnected. Like, you could tell it was thrown together. So I guess allegedly what had happened was CM Punk has buried the company, and he gets up, he walks away, and you see Tony Khan texting on his phone at one point. Allegedly, he had texted Jericho and said, hey, I need you to fucking get up here. Punk just buried the fucking company, buried the Bucks, buried the company, blah, blah, blah. And CM Punk Jericho went running to the presser, saw Punk, told him he was a locker room cancer, that he was a cancer in the locker room, and then went and did the press conference, and then went back and helped break up the kerfluffle, as you would call it. That's the report that's being given.
I don't know that Jericho was the Superman to both hit the presser and then run to the back to Superman breakup. That seems like a very Jericho story to me. That may be a bit over the top. He may have been there in the aftermath once things were broken up to sort of see, to make sure to calm everybody down to see that it didn't escalate further. But I don't know that he was the Superman of the whole ordeal. Although I'm sure that's his story. But no, I absolutely do believe that that Jericho, because Jericho's buried Punk before Punk was in AEW, before AEW was a thing. Jericho's buried Punk, because I don't think that, not necessarily that they didn't get along, but Jericho had never had any respect for him, and it seemingly was mutual. So I don't know. This all seems to keep coming up that Punk is the cancer, Punk is the problem, and if it smells like shit everywhere you go, it's your shoe.
Hey, but you know
Or
what?
pants.
That's funny because not according to your boy Tom. Okay?
Which boy?
Your boy James E. Cornette.
Okay. I haven't listened to Cornette this week. What did Jimmy have to say?
This week. He went public this week, and he said that
Cornette,
if he ran AEW, that he wouldn't have a spot for Chris Jericho.
I mean, that's probably true.
Bullshit.
No. I mean, I'm saying if Cornette ran AEW, he wouldn't have a spot. That's true. He wouldn't.
I mean, if he wants to fucking ensure the longevity of his business, because from the way I fucking see it, Jericho's the only one that seems to give a fuck if AEW makes it past the end of 2023 or not.
It's a good point. I mean,
he just signed a 5-year fucking contract extension.
I don't disagree with that assessment.
He's the Ring of Honor champion, and he's fucking out here trying to get these new guys over so that they can continue to grow their brands. But we don't have a spot for him.
Jim Cornette doesn't have a spot for him. Look, I am not saying that that's the correct take on it. It's not.
But a couple weeks ago, you said that he needed to retire.
Wait, who Jericho?
Yeah.
You know what though? Hold on. Let me rethink. Let me think about this.
I'm just saying, bud. Like, I don't know.
No, you know what? Okay,
Jericho hate comes from.
I take it back. Okay, so it's not that I hate Jericho. It's that it just becomes.
Do you hate rainbows and butterflies too, pal? Because they're majestic.
I mean, a little
just like Chris Jericho's.
Okay.
Flag.
Anyway, all right. So it seems to me that Chris Jericho is kind of the guy who will. There's not enough TV time, and Jericho's a guy who eats TV time like it's a never-ending buffet of TV time, and that's the problem. Like that's the problem.
You've got $900 million of company money invested in a guy because of his name, identity, and the fact that he is who he is. Yeah, you're going to put him on TV. Listen, bud.
Sure, but he's not.
The only reason I go to AEW shows is to sing Judas. Like I don't.
Is that the only? We've paid hundreds of dollars at this point for you to sing Judas. That's it.
Yes,
hundreds of dollars.
Fucking the greatest.
I got front row
fan
seats. I don't give a fuck. I'm good.
You were perched up on the turnbuckle there, buddy. Let's not forget about that. We know where you were. I was there.
I couldn't even do content for the show.
No.
Oh man, I wish
that was
negative. I wish we'd have got the clip of that guy falling down and then like getting back up like 5 minutes later with a belt, with a title belt,
cardboard belt. Where'd it come from? Where'd it come from?
With a cardboard belt with duct tape on it.
I thought he was dead, bro. So listen, for the listeners at home, right? So we went to AEW Pittsburgh this past April, 420 actually. Hey. Which is why Derek sat on the top rope. Anyways, I know we've told this story before, but there was a guy that was sitting 20 rows down from us in the lower bowl because we bought really shitty tickets. They were actually pretty good, really cheap. But we're actually pretty good.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But he was down in the lower bowl and he was facing the upper bowl, so he had his back to the ring, and he was so drunk. He fell over backwards down 2 rows of people. I thought he was dead. He was gone for 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden he popped up holding a cardboard championship belt
with duct
and the
tape.
whole crowd popped.
I mean, it was unbelievable. It was I was certain, I didn't see EMTs or anything rush down there. And I'm just they're just going to let this guy bleed out. That's what we said it to each other. It's you think he's bleeding out down there? It was 2 minutes after we just didn't see him anymore after he fell down. It was you think he's just bleeding out? Should we go look? And you were it's not really our problem. And
but it was
literally a few seconds after we had that conversation, he popped up with a title belt.
Our problem was sitting in between us, bud.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was gone. Just
I don't see how it was a problem.
He wasn't a problem. He was his existence was there.
Yeah.
But
I only physically won once. I came back.
I talked a couple of weeks ago about being on a different planet whenever we did the guest spot on the WrestleCast Power Hour. Derek was in a different fucking stratosphere.
No, he wasn't. He was on
show.
He was sitting on
holiday.
His body.
Damn it!
His body was there, but he was sat on that turnbuckle.
So listen, but anyways, so I'm a little confused though, Tom. Like, where we at here? Like, 2 weeks ago, you wanted Jericho to die. This week, he's okay. Like,
no,
you agree with what I'm saying, what I'm seeing. Like, where are we at here? What's going on?
Hold on. I feel like
I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easy, pal.
Backstage Jericho is one thing versus because clearly backstage everybody's Chris Jericho's friend. So backstage Jericho must.
He is who he is. Whether we like that or not.
Backstage Jericho must be great. So backstage Jericho's take on this backstage drama is probably legitimate. However, in-ring Chris Jericho is a whore. He's a dirty
out of your mind.
Tom. He is a dirty whore for time. A dirty whore.
Listen, I don't disagree with that take, that particular part of this take, because he is absolutely a ring time whore. However,
but how many people does he get over in the process? Every time he's out there,
who's over because of Jericho?
Dalton
Give me
Castle's
one name.
Over.
Who's that?
That box-headed fucker, H2O tag team from WWE.
Hey, bud. I got news for you, Tom. Okay. Whether you fucking like it or not, okay, the AEW fan base loves Daniel Garcia, okay? And he's over because of Chris Jericho.
See, Daniel Garcia, God, he's the least charismatic person in wrestling. There were like...
Von Wagner is the least charismatic person in wrestling.
Man,
I tried to tell you this last week, and you just couldn't handle the truth.
Oh man, could you imagine Could you imagine Von Wagner versus Daniel Garcia? That's like, what's it look like when two wet blankets fight each other?
Jesus.
What happens if you get a wet blanket?
I'm going to save my shit take that I was going to throw at Tom for next week then, because he just ruined all this. Wow.
What's it like to watch two wet blankets fight?
Is this a thing we want to find out? I mean, maybe that's how you build the match. Hey, a wet blanket versus a wet. Could this match be more boring? No. Does anybody give a fuck about either of these guys? No. Why? Because nobody cares.
This sounds like Ronda Rousey's latest match.
Hey,
look. At least
Neil Dashwood. Man.
At least Daniel Garcia goes and gets a decent fucking haircut. Doesn't cut his own hair. So,
hey, listen.
To me,
your boy Wheeler Yuta was over this week too, because he was getting crowd chants. They don't give a fuck. He cuts his own hair with a floating pal. He's out there. He's out there winning hearts, kissing babies, shaking hands.
He's out there blasting farts and winning hearts, huh?
Hey man, all I'm saying is before Derek got his shit situated. All I'm saying is before Derek got his shit situated, you and I were talking about AEW, and you used the words wasted potential, right? Like, there's a lot of wasted potential,
and the
AEW.
truth will set you free.
I get you, right? There's a lot of wasted potential in AEW, but you know who's not wasted potential? Wheeler Yuta's not wasted potential. They're fucking
I guess not
salad out of chicken shit with that, bud.
I mean, if you're saying he's chicken shit, yeah, they're trying so hard. I'm not here for it. I'm really not. But
I mean,
hey,
he's about to get a few TB, bud.
I'm still not here for it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just not. Him and Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta are the two guys who I see have the lowest ceilings ever. Like the lowest, but their ceiling is where they are right now. They are bumping their heads right now on their own ceiling, and it ain't glass. It's fucking made of steel, and they're bumping their heads on that ceiling right now. Go ahead.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin. Two wet blankets fighting each other. best thing I ever heard. Are there pee on said blankets?
Look, I don't know why the blankets are wet, but it's entirely possible. Let's see. Let's tune into AEW this Wednesday and find out what's wet in that blanket.
Some of us will tune in and see what's wet in that blanket because 2 weeks in a row they've put a good show on television.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're advancing some storylines. They had to figure out how to
wait. They're advancing what now?
Yeah, storylines.
What? Like a story assumes that somebody wrote something and they're like, there's continuity. Did you say the word story?
There's absolutely continuity going on in AEW. I mean, if you were watching, you would know.
No, I was. Yeah. Look, I watched a lot of AEW and there was never continuity. It was always a like one-off, like I was watching a cartoon with like South Park where like Kenny would die and then he was back the next episode.
Yeah, but he has regenerative powers.
But there wasn't.
They exposed that later on.
I know. But talking early South Park. I'm old. I'm old
too.
I'm hurt. My son's about to walk in here in his effing boxer shorts. My headset's dead. What do I got to give this kid?
Oh, gravity. Oh, shit. Whew. Oh, you dadded him real quick, bro. Whew. It just gave him the old dad hand. And he just like you laid down the law. Oh shit. And I'm by myself. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so if you're just clicking in, Derek had to go put down the daughter. Tom is dealing with a headset debacle. And yeah, I'm just kind of here on an island in the middle of a conversation that we were having. Gotta love kids, right? Mine's sleeping. At least I think he is. Sounds like he is. All right, let's see what else we got to talk about in pro wrestling. Hey, you know what else was fun? Renee Paquette, when she interviewed
Renee
MJF
Paquette.
Let's
talk about this.
At the top of the ramp, and MJF does the John Moxley, kind of just like right there around Renee. How much fun do you think those guys have with that shit?
I think MJF has a lot of fun with that, where he's walking around and he's like, I drink blood and I gargle piss. First of all, when they took that clip and put it on Twitter, I gargle piss. They took that clip and put it on Twitter, and that got shared like a zillion times. I have a friend who doesn't watch wrestling ever or AEW at all, and like he texted that to me and he's like, how does this make sense? And like I had to go find the full interview and be like, why does that make sense? And I'm like, why is MJF gargling piss? So I watched that and I was like, it's because Renee's there, one. So he's making fun of Mox. And two, it's part of a larger segment. He's just making fun of Mox. It's like The Rock when The Rock made fun of people back in that day. Back in the day. And that's the way it went.
Is it fair to call Renee Paquette the Mean Gene of this generation?
She is so much better. I want to put it this way. She is so much better than everybody else AEW has in this position.
Yes.
She is so like, I mean, it's like they're all like let's put it on a scale of 100. They're all like 2s or 3s, and she's like 115. Like it's the difference is astounding. So I've sought out every single Renee Paquette like clip, because there are certain things on AEW that are very much worth watching, and I now know who these people are and why. Renee Paquette is one of them. And because she cannot look, you can give her a wet blanket, even if that wet blanket is wet because of piss. And somehow a great segment is had because she is better than everybody else, and she knows it. So, yeah.
Tom, your piss blanket segment doesn't make any sense considering that we're talking, is she the Mean Gene? We're not talking, is she the Mean Gene of AEW?
100%. She's the Mean Gene.
I don't give a fuck about AEW. I don't give a fuck about anybody. No, she's not even the Mean Gene of today. There's no way. She's not even close. She's good.
Oh, here's a bad take.
No.
He left to come back with a bad take.
Whenever she has a 1-900 number, let me know. Let me know whenever she's got the.
Hey, it's 2022.
Dave Meltzer line.
That's not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, the Dave Meltzer line. Yeah, we need that with Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette.
She has a podcast. Yeah. There you go. She gives it to everybody for free.
No. We're not going to sit here and fucking shield for her.
How dare you disrespect the goddamn good name?
I will, because this is bullshit. You're just going to sit here and shill for her whenever you know.
Yeah,
we have good friend of the show, Tony
Give that
Schiavone.
Woman her flowers.
We have good friend of the show, Tony Schiavone, on the fucking announce team every week since the inception of AEW, and not
Tony
one
Schiavone
of you
is terrible.
Have given him his due. Bullshit.
Tony Schiavone is terrible.
You've not been very oozy lately, and it shows.
Listen, Derek, I've been waiting for this to happen. So Tom talked about this in my presence alone.
Tony Schiavone is terrible.
Him not liking Tony Schiavone. I'm glad this came up. Please continue, sir.
Me?
Go on.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone.
Because listen, this is going to be the equivalent to Derek of his Mauro Ranallo take.
Tony Schiavone has
at least
nothing.
He didn't say it was Bishop.
Oh my God, I still can't talk. Okay, I'm never going to talk again. It's fine. I'm just going to sit here. Hey, should I go? Should I go work on headsets?
I mean, you're on the edge.
Let me go. I actually have some projects to work on. Should I let Derek talk for the next 40 minutes while I go finish my projects? And maybe I'll come back at this. I'll sweep up first too. It'll be good.
We even lost Pat. Yeah.
Anyway. Tony Schiavone has nothing to add. Oh my God, wasn't that great? JR, this is going to be great. Tony Schiavone may as well be like 8 sound clips. I don't even know if he's there. There may just be 8 Tony Schiavone sound clips that are very generic, that like Excalibur's hitting a button. Tony Schiavone might be dead at this point, and like I don't know. It's like a weekend at Bernie's.
I mean, he's not been on the AEW podcast in a while.
Like it might just be a weekend at Bernie's type of deal. And like there's the corpse of Tony Schiavone is there, and Excalibur hits a button and goes,
"It's Sting!"
and like he takes Tony's corpse and he goes. And he just hits the button, and honestly, I think that's really what it is. I hope Tony's not dead. I hope he's well. But to me, is Tony dead? Because he doesn't add anything to this podcast. He may as well be a corpse full of sound clips that Excalibur is hitting a button, and it wouldn't even have to be a big set of buttons. It's like boop, boop. It's like 8. It'd be like 8 buttons. It's Sting. It's not.
It's boss time. No, that was the wrong one.
No, that's not him. No. That's the wrong one. Nobody's got that. He doesn't have that one. It's not. It's boss time. But no, Tony Schiavone's added nothing since coming to AEW except for Hawaiian shirts, which kudos to the Hawaiian shirts, but still, no. Tony sucks. But the fact that they have hired Renee Paquette, who is not only is she the Mean Gene of now? Those are big shoes to fill. Is she the Renee Paquette of now? Yeah. Is she better than Tony Schiavone? Oh my god. Oh my god. Like I said earlier, everybody else.
Tell you something, Renee Paquette.
Everybody else that AEW has on their roster,
it doesn't hit
backstage.
the same. It doesn't roll off.
Let me tell you something, Marvez. Everybody else is a 3, and Renee Paquette is 115, and that's just where I am on that. Renee is so much better.
Derek,
yeah.
How do you prepare for a big match?
What do you mean? When have I ever had a big match? Okay. Give me an example of something in my life that was a big match, so I can love it. Or is this our new sponsor coming up?
No.
How do you prepare for a big match?
I know exactly where he's going.
If you're getting ready for something, how do you prepare the night before? So you got a big presentation you got to give to the IT folks on Monday morning. What are you doing Sunday night?
Probably drinking.
You know what Wardlow's doing?
I know. Hold on.
He works out and he fucks.
Yes. This was my favorite thing this week.
This was the greatest thing to happen in pro wrestling this week.
This is my favorite thing.
I saw this and I could not believe it. Right, so I guess he did a podcast appearance.
I laughed until I cried when I heard this, when I saw this, because I watched the clip. I literal tears. My wife was like, "What's wrong? Like, why are you laughing so hard?" I was like, "You wouldn't understand."
So he was on Busted Open, and it was being discussed how he prepares for important matches. And Wardlow said, "I do usually spend the night before with a beautiful woman to keep my mind off of things. I wake up in the proper headspace. I'm thinking about everything other than my opponent, essentially. But no, I do some serious training. I'm always doing serious training. So when people ask me, how do you prep for this match? It's like I'm prepping for the biggest match of my life every week of my life. That's why I am who I am and why I'll be where I'm going. I live a little differently." So he fucks and he works out.
Yeah.
God bless him.
That's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
Work out and I'm fucking. Like, that's what he should have said. That's exactly what he should have said, actually, when they asked him. He's like, "Well, I have a great workout. And then I fuck a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And then I tear her ass apart." It was like he put it so eloquently, like a baby face. But then it was just like, wait, he spends the whole night? He spent the whole night. And that it was like a thing where it broke down in your head as you were listening to it or reading it, and you were just like, Jesus Christ. Okay. And then you realized, yeah, no, that's probably what he does. That's absolutely what he does.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him.
Gotta love Wardlow.
Good for him.
Wardlow is so much more over to me this week than, he's been over for me, but now I'm like, put all the titles on Wardlow. Just let him go to the moon.
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you, we don't deserve Sami Zayn.
Okay. We're gonna talk about this now. Okay.
We don't.
National treasure.
We don't deserve Sami Zayn. Why is it that his sole purpose in life is to make the Bloodline characters break? Why?
It works for me.
I'll tell you what. That's for that segment, that in-ring segment on SmackDown with Roman Reigns when he was like, "I'm not feeling very oozy," and Roman's Roman. Jay never recovered.
There was 30 seconds there. Roman went. he tried to keep his eyes serious, but his mouth went a few times, and he kept the microphone away because he's laughing hard, and it was just he's just not feeling very oozy lately. Roman wasn't ready. Who was? How do you be ready for that? How do you be ready?
He grabbed him by the shoulder and was like, "No, you're not going anywhere."
Jay turned away like this. And Roman went, no. Because the camera never left Roman's face. Roman just had to go like without the microphone to like catch Solo Sikoa was so glad that the camera was nowhere near him because he's going.
Yeah, he was riding the struggle bus for sure.
Was they went back and like they must have all laughed for like 40 minutes. One, because of how hard they tried not to laugh in the middle of the ring, and two, because it was not oozy enough.
Jay was not the same.
No, he was.
He tried to be hard though. He did so hard.
I'm not the same. I'm not the same. Nobody's the same. We didn't make it.
So are they sowing the seeds of discontent with the bloodline here? Are we going to see the bloodline start to fall apart?
I mean, I don't know that you can fall apart while dying of laughter. It's going to be really hard for them to fall apart dying of laughter. No, to me, I think this is purely like the build up to this Blood Money match. So they can just sort of do whatever silly bullshit they want because WWE has not been particularly serious as of late because they know like there's no serious threat to the titles. There's no serious threat to Roman. Everything is kind of coming up like year-end entertainment. Okay. So no, I don't think this is a serious threat to Bloodline. However, they're sowing the seeds because I mean they're going to want to break it up at some point. They're going to do something. Like this can't be just a stagnant thing forever. I mean, it's still over. It's still working. It's like great right now, but this can't be forever. Nothing is forever in wrestling. That's just not how this works. No. So I mean, there'll have to be a split or a sort of, and it's had longer legs than most things in wrestling. So. You know,
and it's been good for a really long time.
I can't believe how good it's been for so long. Like usually things that last this long turn to shit, and it's like, why is this still a thing? They've never thought Heyman, that.
That's why it's still a thing.
I've never thought that with the Bloodline. So yeah, but it's so many people. It's like they just keep adding more. I think this still has at least another year under its belt. It's got another year to go at least. But man, no, it's. Are they sowing the seeds? They're starting to, but no, I think at this point, between now and the Saudi Arabia show, they're just trying to pop the boys, and they're trying to pop each other. And Sami Zayn is just going to go out there and try to pop everybody in the ring, and that's what he did on Friday. And he was just out there to like, I got all these guys. I'm going to tell him Jay is not oozy enough, and nobody's going to be. They're not going to be able to handle it. Nobody's going to be able to handle it. I watched it live and I couldn't handle it. Okay. No. I laughed so hard. Rachel came in as, what is wrong with you? Like, he said he's not oozy enough. And she goes, the fuck does that even mean? And that just made me laugh harder. Like thinking back on it, I'm like, I kind of want to laugh and cry about it. But no, it was, oh my God, Sami is, do we not deserve him? No. I deserve him because I've seen so much stupid crap that I deserve to laugh so hard that it hurts. Like, this is like the level of like, remember when like The Rock would make you laugh and it would hurt?
Yeah.
This is that. This is that level. Yeah. And this is actually what I deserve. If we're being honest, I deserve this, and we deserve this as a collective, as a whole. And thank God we're getting it. God, I'm so happy to have it. Yeah.
Hey, so, last week, guys, we talked about AEW and their gorilla position, and we had a little debate about what we thought that it was called. And interestingly enough, AEW answered our question on Wednesday, didn't they, Derek?
They did.
The Mongo position.
The Mongo position. Did Mongo pass finally? Is that
no? He's alive. No, he's
still
very
hanging
much
on.
alive. Yeah, he's
not to say finally in a negative 10, of course, guys. But
well, I mean, he's not doing well.
Gosh, it's days, months,
like,
weeks.
It's like he and Tunch like sort of got ALS at the same time and are both deteriorate. Like Tunch is gone. Tunch is gone. But it's been a steady decline. Not to make light of a man's no.
The whole thing was though that it was the Dusty position previously, and now it's the Mongo position.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yes. Well.
Oh.
However. So Mongo, I don't know if you guys know this. Notorious botch machine. Bret Hart refused to work with him. Refused. Bret Hart would not work with. Bret Hart was like, nope, hard no. Well, we're going to put you in a... Nope, not with Mongo. Bret was a hard no. Why? Because Mongo's a notorious botch machine. You can find this on YouTube right now. Mongo's botches are... There are clips of it that are just like, where is he? Because he's not in this match. What's this man doing? Clearly, the man was a phenomenal athlete, but I feel like Mongo being a notorious botch machine is so apt for the AEW backstage being called the Mongo position because, baby,
wow,
notorious botch machines. Yeah, okay,
what a fucking dick you turned that into.
What a dick. Anyway, it's fine. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sad that the man is like dying of ALS. I really am. But as far as his contribution to wrestling is concerned, like there is Twitter accounts that are dedicated to his botchiness. And I'm not saying he was a bad human or that his wrestling contribution was bad because it was interesting. He was a horseman, for God's sake. Mongo was a horseman. But it was but
see, it's like the horseman meant something, and then it went on this chart of it meant something, and then no,
meant nothing. By this point, it meant nothing.
no, because the NWO came along and.
But no, ALS sucks. So it's hard to like be negative about this, but the fact that they named their backstage position about somebody who was a notorious botch machine is a little bit funny. And I'm not going to laugh about it like I laughed about not being oozy enough, but it makes sense. And maybe they should have thought it through. That's all I'm saying.
It's just a tribute, pal.
Hey, look, tribute to Mongo. Great. But it makes sense.
You sound like an asshole.
You're such a hater. You sipping on that haterade over there, Tom?
Yep. Cheers, boys.
Tom's drunk on it.
All the time. What else we got?
I'm not really sure at this point. I think that
it's been an hour.
Kind of everything that we really wanted to chat about, eh?
Hold on. One more thing.
Okay, have at it.
Not to tear it back to CM Punk, but I'm going to tear it back to CM Punk. So there's been a lot of talk about CM Punk coming back to WWE.
Oh, yeah, I did want to talk about that.
And so initially, the report from the Triple H camp was absolutely no. Phil Brooks is not our problem. He can be AEW's problem, and that's been the long-standing thoughts on that. However, lately it's been never say never. Is that just some sort of PR? Maybe we'll kill him in Saudi Arabia kind of thing, or is that like for real? For real?
Where'd you get that from? You got that from somebody. I saw that. I read that today that the Saudi Arabian prince is going to force Triple H to bring CM Punk back for his entertainment. Where'd you get that from?
My brain? I didn't see that actually. So if I'm predicting the future, it's me. But that it's possible. I just feel like it's possible if a Saudi prince is a CM Punk, not to say that Punk will go or that he would pick up the phone if Triple H called. Not that Triple H would call. And I feel like there's enough bad blood there that it's probably not ever going to happen. Because there was sort of public statements put out there when, how do you feel about CM Punk going to AEW? Phil Brooks is their problem now, not ours. And it was done in a chuckle. And clearly, and this was like a year ago, and it's like that, prophecies foretold quickly, actually. Man, that it fell apart a lot faster than most people anticipated. Prophecies foretold. But so I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I don't really care to see him back on WWE television. I mean, if that's what they're gonna do, then that's what they're gonna do. But to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, you've put together a really good roster now, and you've got some guys that are on the upswing that need a little bit more attention, like a Karrion Kross, who needs to tell his story a little bit better. I think that if you take any time away from some of these folks for the likes of CM Punk, I think that you're adding a lot of negative equity to your show.
And do the negatives outweigh the positives? Can you bring back? I'm just saying, can you bring back CM Punk for 2 months to build him up to fight Roman Reigns somewhere, anywhere, whatever? Whether it's like maybe it'll be, maybe it's a 3-month stand where Roman beats him, but they, there's some tag matches or whatever else.
I'm good. We're in the middle of building Bray Wyatt back up, and go ahead, Derek.
And not to sound like an asshole towards you, Tom, at all, not on a personal level, but just me sitting here as an impartial party, listening to this idea.
This is not my idea, by the way.
This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I don't need any of this.
I'm saying this is not my idea. So are we saying that Phil Brooks is, because look, if I'm Triple H,
what I'm saying is Phil Brooks right now is completely toxic. His stock has never been lower than it has been after his WWE exit. This is lower than that. So
well, they thought he was screwed.
There's no reason for them to bring him back. He's gonna want some stupid ass money. They're not gonna pay it. It'll never happen.
So was money. So is money left on the table, and are we just is everybody just too hard-hearted and stupid to pick that up and run with it? And is it the problem of Phil Brooks, the human, not CM Punk the character, Phil Brooks the human? Is it the problem of him? Is he to a lesser extent the Velveteen Dream?
I very much think that the human is not worth the cost for the character.
Where the Dream, the character, the wrestler, was sky's the limit, but the person behind the Dream is cancer and just can't keep his shit together, can't stay out of trouble, can't stay out of his own way. Is this the epitaph of CM Punk, the legend of CM Punk? Is that he just can't stay out of his own way? He can't see a good thing for what it is, and he can't stay out of his own way. And is that the epitaph of CM Punk? And is that disappointing? Because to me, I'm not disappointed.
I would say it's absolutely disappointing, because you've got somebody that the wrestling fan base has held in such high regard for 15 plus years, and despite what any of us think about him or his actions or his antics, I mean, he's fucking over. and he had a legacy that he was looking to continue, and he was doing a really, really fucking good job of it until he couldn't do it anymore.
But was his legacy anything outside of just being, the son of the Second City? Is his legacy anything outside of being the most over guy Chicago has ever had, and then being over enough everywhere else? I don't know, and I don't.
I mean, he would absolutely be a WWE Hall of Famer
for sure. And you know what? I think that I wouldn't mind that if they want to induct him at some point. And if he would agree to that, I think that's the end, though. I think that'll
close the book.
That closes the book.
I absolutely believe that will happen one day.
I think that closes the book, and whether it's probably going to be 3 or 4 years from now at least. I think that's kind of the like this thing. It's not going to be like this year, although that would be funny. It's not going to be this year. I just think there's a level of a few years from now, once all this settles down, they'll come to terms and be like, look, I don't want you to wrestle. You can come out here and you can say whatever you want. In fact, do your CM Punk thing, but we're going to induct you into the Hall of Fame, and then we're never going to see you again. How's that sound? And he'll be like, all right, fine. And that'll be that. Right. And he'll maybe, maybe they'll induct, maybe they'll induct April as well. AJ, maybe AJ will get inducted as well. So, we'll see. Maybe that'll be the hook, the caveat. Like, well, you got to induct her too.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's that time, gentlemen. Tom.
So mine is actually the winner. Match of the week is Finn Balor versus Carl Anderson.
That was a good match.
Both these guys know each other so well. They put on a great match. 1, 2. This was more of a segment than a match, although there was a great match that got 8 minutes before it became a segment, and they just kind of did their chemistry because they're literally best friends in real life. They kind of just did that for a little while, and then Rhea Ripley. This was really more Rhea Ripley's match, if I'm being honest, because she low blowed Carl Anderson, but she scoop slammed Doc Gallows, and it looked like he weighed nothing, and we all know Doc Gallows is a big fat motherfucker. And it would be like she just scooped him. I was like, boom, and then she got in the camera's face and was like, yeah. Is anybody more over in Judgment Day than Rhea Ripley right now? Is anybody?
No.
There's not a lot more women over in WWE than Rhea Ripley right now. I don't know how. She just came back from injury and she's limited still, so I don't know how deep her compete can be. But holy shit, that plus the Carl Anderson versus Finn Balor for 8 minutes that we got, and then she gave him the low blow to kind of win the match, so she was sort of the star of the match as well. Just great.
Which one of these?
No.
Hello.
Get out of the screen. Hey man, no.
Chip. They just won victory royale.
No, they won. They won.
All right, come on, both of you come first.
Bye guys.
Awesome.
Next.
He finally got his wish, didn't he? He's been trying all
That'll
episode.
lock the goddamn doors.
He's been trying the whole episode. He finally got your ass. And it's because Mom was there. Derek, match of the week, bud.
All right, so I don't have anything too out of the way impressive going on, but I was happy to see Emma come back. I'm going to say that. We're going to go with that. Not so much for the fact that it was a great match, because Ronda Rousey, her promo for that match was complete trash. She's honestly the worst on the mic. She has no charisma. You know, you boys feel about that,
bad,
but
bud.
to me,
bad.
it's bad. God, it's bad. But happy to see her come back. And really, what I'd like to more point out is her work in Impact Wrestling. She was much better there. Go check out her shit there.
As
If you
Tanel
know who Emma
Dashwood?
is. Yeah.
I mean,
Dashwood?
maybe Triple H is going to give her a chance, bud, because I agree with you.
I
I
hope
feel
so.
like she wasn't nearly what she was in WWE on her first run as she was in Impact, and I'm looking forward to seeing if she's got some legs in the old SmackDown.
Be happy to see her come back and hopefully do something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. I hope that it pans out for her, because I do think that she's untapped potential.
Walt?
So I had a really hard time with match of the week this week. Because there was a lot of really great matches on television this week. I thought Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Bryanson, Bryan Danielson was
Daniel
fucking.
Bryan.
I do that
What?
every time.
Who?
I thought Sammy Guevara
Sammy,
versus Bryan Danielson was fucking phenomenal. I thought that the tag team match between Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia and Chris Jericho was fun. I really enjoyed the Emma match with Ronda Rousey. I couldn't believe that Emma got such a great match out of Rousey. There was also the Madcap Moss. Who the fuck did
That was
Madcap
against
wrestle?
Karrion Kross.
Yeah, Karrion Kross. I
Karrion
thought
Kross.
that
was
was
a
a
good
good
match.
match for what it was. Told some stories.
It was a
But
little rough in the beginning, but yeah.
Yeah, but my match of the week was 100% FTR versus Swerve in Their Glory for the number one contendership for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland got the W over FTR. A little bit of shenanigans from the Gun Club, but
Daddy ass may never be the same.
it had a really good place in life for that type of finish in that, because you're not ready to put FTR against the Acclaimed right now, because FTR has to win that match right
Yeah.
now. So for Swerve in Their Glory to win this match, it gave them a lot of credibility as a tag team, and I really enjoy their chemistry, that even though they act like they don't have chemistry and they argue and like that's their shtick, they're really gelling to me as a tag team, and I'm really enjoying what they're doing.
Well, they're both probably the most underrated, not underrated, but like they're both. We're going to look back on Swerve and Keith Lee's careers and be like, good God, these guys were probably the best to be doing it at that point in time. And, whether they get there, whether that comes to fruition or not, they're the guys, right? They're the next. I mean, Keith Lee's kind of an older guy, but like they're the ones.
Yeah, it's been fun. And I mean, FTR is FTR, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It was a great match, man. It had some really good spots.
Have you seen a bad FTR match?
No,
nobody has.
Not one time ever.
They don't exist. Nobody's seen it.
So that to me was a match of the week. And if you've not watched it, I suggest that you go out of your way and you watch it, Tom, because it was pretty damn good match.
I did, but I left out putting it over because a heel towards AEW, so there's that.
Well, I'm a realist, so there's that. Yeah, so that was my match of the week. Hey man, glad we got to do this. Day early for Halloween. Obviously, everybody happy Halloween. Go take kids, enjoy trick or treating, do all that fun stuff. I'm sure, most certainly going to do that tomorrow. Can't wait. Is everybody dressing up?
Not me, no. I got Hershey bars that are going to put out, and then I have But buddy, I got a big walk to put in tomorrow, and it's not fun. It's like, so I got to do about 1.5 miles, and then I got to come back to my own street and go up a hill, down a hill, up a hill, down a hill. So tomorrow I'm getting my cardio. So if you see that I had a heart attack, R.I.P. Tom, next episode. But it's a big cardio day for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be sweaty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a sweaty boy. But
I'm still gonna
Yeah.
dress up because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm gonna be a
I'm
dinosaur.
gonna be ready for some
Rawr.
cardio. I'm gonna be dressed up for cardio. I'm gonna be. You know who I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be Cardio Man.
Tom
CM Punk?
Simmons.
What about you, Derek? You said you're gonna be a dinosaur. Rawr.
Yeah. One of them blow up T-Rexes.
I almost went that route this year, but I've been sitting on this Chucky head from Rugrats for like 4 years because Carson's just been deathly scared of it. But this year he's like into it, so I can't wait to use it. And so I'm gonna be Chucky from Rugrats this year.
There you
So
go.
I'll make sure I post some pictures on our social media of me dressed up as Chucky from Rugrats. Be the
Very
fattest little Chucky you've ever seen in your entire life. But yeah, man. So happy Halloween. Go get that chocolate. And if you're scared that Skittles are poison, please send them my way.
Hey, also, if anybody gives your kids drugs, Derek's got you.
Yeah. Derek will definitely dispose of them properly.
I will take
But
care of that.
I will tell you this: there is no self-respecting pothead in this entire world that's going to give your child
Oh no.
his
I'd be
edibles.
pissed.
Okay.
That was totally an
No,
accident.
no, there's not.
And it
So
won't happen.
please-
I was so disappointed when I grew up and realized that nobody was going to give me free drugs.
No, there's
So-
so
it's
many
so
things that
disappointing.
you're like quicksand. Like I thought I would have to deal with this. You don't.
It's literally the same thing. Nobody's going to give you free drugs, and you're not going to fall into quicksand.
want some drugs?
Hey,
No.
You're not going to fall into
No.
quicksand, and nobody's giving you free drugs, and that's the answer. That's the truth to life.
So we'd like to wish all of our listeners happy Halloween. Please just make sure you
Happy
enjoy your
Ween.
family. You know what I'm saying?
The big ween. The
Listen,
big ween.
check
Do
us
the
out
big
over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. If you're with us right now, everywhere, anywhere, we appreciate you. And with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll get you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
Bye, guys.
Derek, I'm so proud of you. You